Is Finn a lot more physical in this film?
Yeah, very physical in the film. He's on a new mission, and there's a new goal now. The resistance are under immense pressure. The first order is back, and they're badder than ever, and it requires Finn to make a choice as to what side he's on.
What was the first moment where you were like, oh my god, I'm in a Star Wars movie? When you're making the movie and it kind of hit you?
Yeah, I mean, going on that set and seeing the incredible, I don't want to say specifically what, but the incredible sets, there were some moments where, I mean, the people that work on this movie, it's like every single person is so passionate and just so happy to be there. And when you see these kind of things that you've seen in a movie come to life and they're actually there in front of you, that was the moment where I was like, is this happening? It might be happening, but I'm still not completely convinced it's happening.
It felt like you're returning back to a world that you dreamed of, because once we had done with Force Awakens, I went on to other projects, and so it was just weird coming back and being in the jacket and having to revisit. It felt like you were continuing a double life that you're living. It's strange.
So how is Rey's relationship with Luke in this movie different from like Luke's relationship with, say, Yoda or Obi-Wan?
Well, Rey is not a teacher. Yoda and Obi-Wan are very much like guiding figures in Luke's life. And Rey, I think, obviously he doesn't even know who she is when she turns up, like with this frickin' lightsaber that he's not seen in however long. So that in itself is a big difference. And then as things go on, I think there's an expectation. There's always been an expectation on Luke as to his potential and what he can do and what he should do, much like with Rey. So in that sense, they're kind of similar. But obviously the dynamic has changed because she's expecting something from him this time, and it remains to be seen whether, how he reacts to that.
Now, your character, Rose, is a mechanic.
Yeah.
So how does a mechanic get roped into this epic
Skywalker
right? saga?
Right? That's the question that you're going to have to wait till December to find out.
What was your audition? Like, how do you audition for a Star Wars movie? Like, what is that process even like?
It was a pretty long process. I think it went on for 5, maybe 6 months. It was pretty extensive, but I can say that from the beginning, Mary, who did the casting, and Ryan and Rami, who both were there, they made it as lovely as possible. I mean, of course, as an actor, you're like, oh, this is crazy, but everyone was so amazing, and that's been the filming process as well, every single person.
How do you think this movie is different from The Force Awakens?
I think it's a lot more darker. I think there's a lot more issues that we're trying to figure out now. The Force Awakens established a world and a story, and now Episode 8 needs to clarify that to a certain extent.
And how do you think this film pushes the entire series forward, maybe in a unique way, in a way that we haven't seen from Star Wars yet?
I think I've spoken to a number of people that have seen a rough cut, and everyone's like, it's different, it's different. So I think with Ryan's vision and his image, and also I think he had JJ, brought the old fans back and the new fans in, and he had all this stuff. And Ryan, I think, had more room to kind of do his thing. Not that JJ didn't, that sounds wrong. But as in there was just more room for everything to breathe this time.
The way I came into it, I feel like it's always the wrong thing if you come in and your driving force is, I'm going to make something different. I'm going to throw away the pair. I'm going to surprise people. Or, to me, it's all about, okay, these characters that were set up in The Force Awakens, where does it make sense to me that they go next? And I think if you follow that through, you'll get to some surprising places, because you're going to be following where it makes sense to you that they go next. But, so I don't know. It's a tough question for me to answer because I tried to just tell a really honest story of where I thought these guys should go.
So I think you'll find some things that might surprise you, and they certainly surprised me. I said to Ryan, I think I fundamentally disagree with pretty much everything you've decided for me. Now, having said that, I have to accept it, get my mind around it, and do my best to realize your vision. And once I got into it, a lot of my fears went away.
Did you watch the trailer inside?
The Last Jedi? Yeah, I was there for the second round, and I'm trying to get this press line done so I can go back.
Did you have a favorite moment?
Rey's hands on the floor with the stones vibrating up.
Yeah,
it shows that her power's growing.
The trailer's awesome.
Oh yeah, you like it?
Do you have a favorite moment from it? I feel there's one moment where the AT-ATs are in the distance.
Yeah, you get a glimpse of that. Well, I love that, and I love the reveal of the red, of that kind of little hint of what that battle on that planet is going to be like.
I imagine that's a new planet.
Yeah, it's a new planet. Yeah. It's like a mineral planet, so that's salt a thin layer of salt over like this red, ruby, blood red sort of crystal that gets dug up.
And do you upgrade the AT-ATs in that?
Oh, you'll have to see. Maybe you can look at the silhouette and like just check them out. But I mean, it's so that moment. But I gotta say though, the moment where we come around the mountainside and reveal, Rey and Luke in silhouette. And I heard the audience, a little kind of like breath in the audience when that happened. I was like, oh, that makes me happy.